talk. So on behalf of the Tools for Life Learning Center at Loudoun Habitat for Humanity, I would like to welcome you to our virtual workshop today on fraud prevention during COVID. My name is Amanda Bollig, and I'm the Programs Project Specialist here at Loudoun Habitat for Humanity. I oversee our home repair program as well as the Tools for Life Learning Center. So thank you all for joining us today. All right, we're going to get started. Today's goals for the discussion are, we're going to review some of the current scams that are currently being reported to law enforcement during COVID. We're also going to provide some prevention tips that you can use to help spot a COVID scam or fraud. And then we'll wrap it up with what you could do if you happen to become a victim of one of these scams or frauds. Joining us today as our presenter is Ethan Martin with the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, and he is in the Crime Prevention Unit. We have had Ethan actually present with us before, as you can see in the photo on your screen. When we were able to do in-person sessions, Ethan joined us for one of those, and so we're grateful to have you back, Ethan, joining us in the virtual world. Before Ethan gets started, I just want to let you know that if you have any questions for him during the course of the presentation, go ahead and put that in the chat box, and then we'll answer those at the end of his presentation. All right, Ethan, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on off to you.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Thanks everybody for coming in and joining. During these unprecedented times, COVID fraud and scams, we're seeing an increase. So it's important to educate everybody on what scams are happening now. And some of these scams have been around for a very long time. They can be very convincing, and that's why people fall for them. So some of the top scams that we're seeing are the phony cure scams. As we all know, they are working on a cure very fast. Just recently in the media, obviously, there's two potentials out there, but nothing's been put out there. So there's no magic cream or magic pill that you can take that's going to cure COVID. So don't fall for any of these, especially through your emails. We'll go over phishing emails in a little bit. Fake mask scams. Be careful about if you're purchasing masks, especially online, that you're buying them from reputable people who are selling masks that actually will help you prevent from getting COVID. Economic impact payment scams. That's obviously your stimulus checks, especially paper and the plastic. We'll go over that. Imposter government and charity scams. We've all probably heard about the IRS scams, but they also do a bunch of impostering. I'm going to go over one just here in a second after I get through these. A lot of people are out of work, so employment scams, you got to watch out for those. Those roadside signs that you'll make $1,000 in a week, be very, very cautious of those. Phishing and smishing scams, again, we'll go over those. Phishing is an email, smishing is usually a text message. And then we'll go over some contact tracing stuff and some scams that you might hear. But before we go ahead and go to the next slide, I just want to make everybody aware, especially if you are in Loudoun County, two of the scams that we're seeing being reported right now are jury scams and warrant scams, where you're receiving a phone call that says it's from the sheriff's office or the county courthouse saying you've missed jury duty or you have a warrant out for your arrest, and they'll actually use names that people who actually do work here, and they sound very convincing. But where they get you is that they want you to pay for it. They're telling you you can just take care of this if you send us the money that the fine is, and they want you to send it in via gift card, like a Google card, Apple Play card. That should shut off red flags. But we've actually had people showing up here in this building at our headquarters asking for these individuals to verify, hey, did I really miss jury duty? Do I have a warrant out for my arrest? So just hang up on these people, and you can call us at our non-emergency number and make sure that you don't have a warrant. But if you miss jury duty, they're not gonna come out to you for money. And if you have a warrant, we usually just either call you or come to your address and tell you have a warrant. So just be careful of that. The other one is the puppy scams. We actually have people who are buying puppies from breeders that might be here locally in Loudoun, and they pay money for the puppy, and they're actually showing up at the residence here in Loudoun County to pick up the puppy, and the people are like, we don't breed puppies here. It's a fraud. So we actually have a person who has been frauded so much that she actually has a sign on the door. There is no puppies here. Call the sheriff's office. You've been scammed, because she's tired of answering the door. So those are the ones we are seeing. Phishing and smishing scams. These are actually two. The email on the left is actually came from uh, Yahoo address, my personal one, and then the smishing scam here looks very convincing. There's few things that you need to look out for. Anybody can make a secured website. Anybody can make a email look authentic, like it comes from PayPal. But there's certain things that you want to look for, and especially what you want to look for is you want to hover your mouse over the email address and make sure that it says paypal.com, or it doesn't come back to a URL of like Gmail or something of that nature. So they can make these very authentic. Don't click on any links, and because you might be they setting you up with some type of malware or ransomware they put on your computer. Smishing is the same thing. They just want you to click on that link, and once you do click on that link on a text message, you've given them access to your phone. So don't reply to these, especially during the holiday season. Now I think you're going to see an uptick where you're going to see them come from FedEx or UPS saying, hey, we just sent a package, you received it. And we all know Amazon always takes a picture and sends it to you, notifies you when they deliver it. So UPS and FedEx, just be aware these are smishing. Don't click on links. It's the worst thing to do. Again, this is a phishing email that I received, and I want you to look at very closely which one is trustworthy or not. And you'll see some of the wording. You'll see the icon is different. Apple uses an Apple. They don't use AS. But they look pretty authentic, right? But usually a phishing scam, they want you to click on the link to verify information. Like your account's been locked because we found some questionable activity. We need to verify who you are. Do not verify by clicking on a link. You're clicking on link and you're providing information probably to a hacker or a scammer. So actually, the one on the left is not a trustworthy one, and the is a phishing scam, and the one on the right is. Again, check that email address. Make sure it comes back to the apple.com like the one on the right. Again, hover over your mouse over an address. It will tell you, sometimes it will pop up directly next to it or below on the bottom left of your screen, and it will tell you exactly where that email is linked to. So if you hover over that eBay, it actually is linked to that buy .com address on the bottom left. So that is definitely a scam, and you don't want to click on that link. Coronavirus scams. Remember, I was said it earlier. There's no cure. There's no miracle product right now. So basically, the advice that's out there is definitely go through the CDC, the FDA, a trusted resource that knows what's happening with the coronavirus, and using things online. Um, you know, uh, you got to make sure that they're from a trusted source, because you can make up a fake website very easily. And just remember, all products that are advertised that says all natural um, can be a scam, because it doesn't mean that it's all good for you. You may want to make sure that you're taking something and ingesting something that's good for you. And then again, like I said, purchase masks and other personal protectives from trusted dealers. The government's working very hard, especially the Federal Trade Commission, cracking down on these people who have fake websites that are selling products that not don't even exist. So be careful if you're going to buy online personal protection gear. Again, prior to purchasing any product, always check with your health doctor or your nurse or somebody who you're seeing that's trusted, and that you're taking something that ingesting in your body that's you're not going to have some type of reaction to. So just be very careful, and especially when it comes to coronavirus or COVID, just remember the resources that I said earlier. So these are actual what we call robocalls, and we've probably all gotten these. So these are the ones that are actually being reported to the Federal Trade Commission, and there's many more out there. But you're going to hear in every single one of these calls a certain phrase that they use to get you kind of hooked. So we'll go ahead and listen to them.
If you are diabetic and using insulin, we can qualify you to get a free diabetic monitor and a complimentary testing kit for coronavirus. To learn more, please press 1. Otherwise, please press 2.
Response Act has made coronavirus testing more accessible immediately. If you want to receive a free testing kit delivered overnight to your home, press 1. If you do not want your free testing, press 2.
From the coronavirus? For only $79, our highly trained technicians will do a full air duct cleaning and sanitation to make sure the air you breathe is free of bacteria. So don't hesitate. Press 0 and have your duct system cleaned and sanitized now. Press 9 to be removed from this list.
Dear customer, due to coronavirus outbreak, we deliver a wide range of sanitizers, hand wash, toilet papers and face masks at your doorstep to safeguard you and your family from coronavirus. No need to visit stores. Get delivery in 24 hours. To order, press 1. For more knowledge and safety tips about coronavirus, press 2.
Hello, this is Bradley Jasek with an important message regarding the effects of the coronavirus outbreak on your student loans. As you may have already heard, President Trump invoked his power as Commander-in-Chief by declaring a national emergency due to the widespread impacts of COVID-19. New measures will include waiving interest on your federal student loans until further notice. During this time, our offices have continued to maintain full staffing levels and will continue to do so until further notice. For more information on how these new measures will impact your future payment obligations, call us back today at 855-264 before 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks and have a great day.
The grandparent scam, especially, I don't know if we have any grandparents on board or not, but it's been around for a very long time. It's very convincing and it does work. And we're actually seeing people fall for this during this time of COVID, where they're saying that they have a family member that they can't get in touch with, or something of that nature because they're stuck in the hospital. And right now, you can't go into a hospital and visit anybody because they pretty much have it locked down. So that person might need money because they're stuck in a hospital somewhere, and they go and they find out who their grandparents are. And everybody usually asks me, well, how do they know that that person's their grandparent? A lot of it's social media. It's unsecured social media privacy settings where people have their social media open to everybody in the world to see, especially in the day of Facebook. So make sure that you use your privacy settings, your elders, parents, or whoever. Educate them on using privacy settings. You should only be sharing things with your friends, your close friends, and your family members. And remember, scams they'll be very convincing, and they will tell you that they need this very immediately, right now. There's no hanging on. We have to get this, and we've had people fall for this and actually stay on the line with people, and they'll go to whatever store and they'll pick up gift cards and still have those people on the line, and they'll buying them. And they're giving the numbers because they don't need the actual gift card. All they need is the number on the back that you scratch off if you're familiar with using a gift card to put that money in the bank. So um, just educate your elderly about the grandparent scam. Again, don't act immediately, resist the urge to act. Even how convincing the story is, like I said before, we've had people that say where they've received calls and they actually have people screaming um, in the background, like we're holding we're in the whatever border, we're holding your grandchild, your grandson, or whoever hostage. We need you to send this money, and they actually have somebody in the background yelling and screaming. Um, the best thing to do is hang up the phone and call that loved one's family and say, is so and so and wherever, I'm getting this phone call that they're being held against their will. So check into the story, and don't give in to these people. Again, do your own investigations. Call the family member, And especially if you receive a phone call, remember this, and they want you to pay by gift card, a prepaid debit card, money transfer, and now we're seeing Bitcoin, which is cryptocurrency. Hang up on these. These are scams. Charity scams. We have people who will, obviously during this time, or with especially with some of the hurricane season that we're seeing, and with people out of jobs during this time, then you might have somebody contact you wanting you to donate money. The best advice that we can give to you is if you want to donate money, you make initiate that contact first. Don't let them contact you. And there are ways to make sure that these people are legitimate. And you can do an online search. You can check their website, see if they have a legitimate address that wherever they're calling from. And then there's other ways where give.org or nasconet.org where you can check to make sure these people are legit, that you're donating money to people that are actually using those funds for what they say they are. And then the FTC, I cannot say much about the Federal Trade Commission website. It's a great resource to use. I'm on it daily. I get scam alerts daily from them. I highly recommend doing signing up for that. So employment scams, there's lots of people that we're seeing right now that are out of work. I think we're seeing it every day, more and more people signing up for unemployment. But there are a lot of people out there taking advantage of other people um, for online employment scams. And how they're usually a lot of people will put their resumes on like Indeed or LinkedIn or something of that nature. And these people will reach out and they'll act like they're employers, and they tell you all these things. You're going to get paid for a little work. There's quick money, this, that, and the other, and they're going to send you this startup check, in which they do. It's usually a cashier's check, and go out and buy this computer and buy these stuff. Go ahead and put the rest in your bank account, and then they'll call you back later and say, "Oh, I sent you too much money. I need you to send me money back quickly via gift card, via money order." And then the next thing you know, that check that you got for your startup account bounces. So those are how employment scams work. There's other ways, but don't fall for these. If you're gonna, again, check with the Better Business Bureau. Make sure these are legitimate businesses before you take online employment offers. Okay, so a lot of us probably, if we were eligible, have gotten our stimulus check. If not, you better, if you are eligible and you haven't, and you know somebody that's eligible for the impact payment, and they might have money waiting for the U.S. government. By the way, you have until the 31st to file with the IRS to make sure that you get your check. After the 31st, I think they're not going to honor anybody's impact stimulus check that were eligible after that date. But make sure if you do have one, and you know somebody that still hasn't gotten one, they actually do have a Virginia coronavirus task force that provides information on how to spot a scam. Remember, the IRS will direct deposit your payment or send you a paper check, or they're going to send you a debit card. The next slide will go over that. And the IRS is never going to call you and ask you for any bank information or PayPal account information. What information you provided them on your tax return is the information that they have. They're not going to call you for it. You have to provide it for them. And again, do not engage with these IRS scammers online. The government will not call you. And by the way, if you try to call the IRS, you're probably not going to get a hold of the person anyways. So IRS scams on the phone are not legitimate. Just hang up on them. If they're going to correspond with you, they're going to send you mail. They're not even going to send you email links, by the way. So don't click on those. Again, government will never ask you for any money up front for payment, for a promised benefit. It's a scam. Go ahead. So if you are eligible, there is a website through the IRS that you can check about your get your payment. and everything that you need to know about economic impact statement. Who knows if we're going to get another stimulus check or not? With everything going on, we'll see what happens. But if you still haven't got it and you need to, somebody who needs to enter that information, like I told you before, go to this website. If you receive a check from the government and you want to make sure that it's legit, there's a website you can go to. This is the go ahead. You can go ahead, Amanda. This was the security features. This is the actual debit card that you'll get from the U.S. IRS, the Treasury Department. They partner with MetaBank. This is the only card that you will receive from them. This is what it will look like. So if you get a debit card and it does not look like this, I would definitely be cautious of it. It could be a fraud, and definitely don't want to um, basically, how you have to verify it, you have to call, so you can use that card to activate it. If you activate it, there might be another card out there that actually has all the information that you just activated another card. So if that makes sense. Um, so if you do get one of these cards, EIPcard.com is all the information you need about it, all the questions you might have about how to activate it, how to report a fraud if you think one happened with this. Contact tracing. I don't know if anybody has had any been contacted by anybody from the Department of Health or through Loudoun County Health Department that you might have come in contact with somebody who's had COVID or tested positive for COVID. Um, there's definitely some very good information. This link that we'll share with you from the Virginia Department of Health, it will definitely tell you who will contact you, how they're going to contact you, what will they ask, what information, and everything that you need to know about contact tracing scams. The Attorney General Office obviously came up with this form. It's a very good form. It answers a lot of questions about contact tracing. The FTC has a very good website. Also, like I said before, I'm on this daily. I get a lot of great information about what's going on in the fraud and scams world. These people work very hard, taking down these scammers and getting money back to the people who have been scammed. So that's another thing. If you have been scammed, and the FTC has brought a suit against those people that you might have taken your money, you might be eligible get your money back. And you can look at all the settlements that they have on here. This is a great website. I can't say enough about it, but they obviously have a great advice for coronavirus consumers and what's going on in the world. You can also report a scam to them also, but great resources. So what happens if you do become a fraud and scam victim? We don't have to come to your residence or where you work or wherever you want to call and report this. We have an online reporting system that works very great, especially for fraud and scams. And if you go to our website, just follow the links where it has the handcuffs there. You just click on that to report a crime. It's very self-explanatory how to go through it, what kind of crime you can report online. But that way it saves you time where you don't have to necessarily talk to us, but you're going to eventually talk to a detective once if it needs to have follow-up done or nothing. And I would even report this even if you don't have a loss, because the more information that we get and that we can share, we can hopefully prevent others from being scams and frauds because we work closely with task force about frauds and scams. It's not just it's a regional thing, it's a nationwide thing, it's a statewide thing. So we share a lot of information. We can even do it by phone, or we can meet you. Like I said, our non-emergency numbers up there. Go ahead and just give us a call, and we can have a deputy call you back on the line. or an investigator and report the crime. Obviously, you want to report it to one of your 3 credit bureaus to put a credit lock or freeze on your account. I have a freeze on mine right now. I just extended it to 7 years because actually I'm a victim of fraud. And if somebody tries to check my credit, I have to unlock it. It works, use it, and it's free. So that's the best thing overall. And then again, go ahead and initiate a report with the Federal Trade Commission because they have a lot of great information out there on how to protect your identity and how to restore your identity and what steps you need to go forward with. Again, how to trace that fraud alert. You only have to contact one credit bureau. Ask them to put an alert on your report. They will contact the other 2. It does work, like I said. And then make sure they have your correct information, especially your phone number and email. So if they need to get in contact you, make sure that you're opening up an account or you want to unlock that account, you can. Again, check your credit reports every year. If you don't know how to read one, take it to somewhere where somebody knows, a financial advisor or something of that nature, where they know how to read them. And I'll tell you a quick story. A gentleman, a couple of years ago, we had reported that somebody used his identity and bought a semester at school for $40,000 at George Washington University. He wouldn't have known that unless he checked his credit report, because all the stuff that was coming to him was going to a fake address for our collections. And then again, mark your calendar because the alert only lasts for a year, but then again, you can do a freeze for 7 years.
Okay, so we're just going to summarize really fast what we talked about today. The first thing that we reviewed were those top COVID scams that are being reported right now to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. We also reviewed some of the signs that you can look for to recognize if it is a scam or a fraud. And then Ethan explained to us how we can report one of those COVID scams or frauds if we become a victim. If you had any questions for Ethan, go ahead and enter them into the chat box. We do have a couple people who have asked some questions for you, Ethan. So one question we received is, how do I know if a contract tracer is a real caller?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How do you know if a contract tracer is a real caller?
Okay, so what you can do is you can actually ask them their name and their email, and then you can hang up on them, and then you can call back that number, and you can verify through the Department of Health that these people are actually legitimate contact tracers. If you go back to that, slide that we showed about that actually is on that pamphlet from the Attorney General's office and goes over how you do that. It's on the right side here if we go back to it. So write down the caller's information, hang up and call the main Virginia department line at the 804-864-81400. And then the operator will transfer your call to the health district. And then they'll verify that they do have a virginia.gov address. And they'll verify that that person is a legit contact tracer.
So the only people that should be contacting you should be someone from the health department or the state.
That's correct.
Got it. Okay, wonderful. The other question that we received in the chat box was, if someone opened an email that was a scam, but they never clicked on the link, is their computer still compromised, or their identity or anything like that?
No, you're not compromised if you just open an email and look at it. But what they're trying to get you to do is that they want you to click on that link. That's why when I went over and said hover over that email address and make sure that it came back from a legitimate, like I said, the PayPal.com. But if you click on a link, that's when your computer could be infected with some type of virus, malware, or even your phone can be infected if you're checking your email on your phone.
Okay. I believe that was all the questions that we had in our chat box today. So I just want to thank you, Ethan, for joining us and presenting with us. We will get those slide decks out to all of the viewers who can listen to all that wonderful information, those robocalls, and hear what some of those calls might actually be that they would receive. And then for all of our viewers, we want to thank you for watching today. If you did have any additional questions, please let us know. And you can actually rewatch this video. If you go to loudounhabitat.org/toolsforlife, we will post the recorded version for you to go back and watch. And then we also have on our website registration for our upcoming webinars. So if you're interested in any of our other topics, we go over DIY, home maintenance, home ownership, and financial management. And actually on December 3rd, we're going to be having another presentation. This time we will be having Mike Ponticus join us from Sandy Spring Bank, and he's going to be presenting on budgeting for the new year. So if you're interested in that topic and want to learn more, go ahead to loudounhabitat.org/toolsforlife and register for that event. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.